got strips or pliers, and pliers for a wrench for a hammer, hammers everything else. It just don't seem to make much difference. Sure do like him, but it's hard on.
All right,
Yeah,
okay, so here's a question. What do you watch? If you're gonna watch something, what are you gonna watch?
Biopic on HBO Max. I try to limit extracurricular websites, Mr. Fussel.
I don't believe that, but okay.
I try to
Nobody
also, not
believes
very
me when I say
successfully.
That's what I'm telling you. Turn off the internet. It's not real. I promise you.
So you watch what's biopic? What the hell is biopic?
Well, what was the last show that I can remember watching was The Last of Us.
Well, it's like an opic, but it's double that. Just double.
Twice the opic.
It's an opic, but it goes both ways.
Are you sure? Or is it? Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, it's not. It swings both ways. That opic does. It's a woke opic.
I'll be honest. I heard somebody say that, and I thought that was the right word to use right there.
No, I think it's actually you're actually the right word. I think we're the dummies that don't understand it.
Oh, trust me. I every job interview I've ever started. Not very smart, but I try hard.
Yeah, that's all it takes in the oil field.
That's all.
It reminds me of a story of I reference these stories with my buddy Dave. We're sitting in like a Kroger line or a Dillon's line not too long ago, and the lady said, "Hey, would you like paper or plastic?" And he's like, "I don't really care because I'm bisexual."
That's pretty good.
That's a good joke.
That's pretty good.
I'm giving that to my 10-year-old tomorrow.
I like that one.
He's gonna have a day.
That's a good one. Hey, so you were talking about the.
Let me ask. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go. Nope, you go. I'm not talking.
I'm about to take it serious for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to get back into being a goofball.
Fair enough.
How do we raise men in this world that respect women, but it's also okay to be a man? Anybody else having this struggle? Your 3-year-old, is that a little boy, girl?
I can tell you. Okay, so I'm going to get it serious for a minute, and we can always cut this out. So we're going to talk for a minute, and I'm going to get on my soapbox because this is something I'm very, very passionate about. One of the things I've realized in this world that we live in, and I can relate to in a very, very big way, is that there's, in my opinion, there's 3 generations of men, right? So we have our greatest generation. I'll start it out with a really great quote, and I'm going to be on my soapbox for a minute, then I'll get off and we can be funny again. But there's a really great quote where it was just like, hard times make good men, good times make weak men make hard times. And that's a really important quote to think about because that's where we're living right now. And here's the thing is we're sitting in, even in my generation, I'm 50 years old. We're sitting in a situation where we have been basically, for lack of a better term, and this is oil and gaslighted, so we do whatever we want, pussified. And we have been taught to be like women. We have been taught to be the second queen in our relationships. And we have been taught that we have to be friendly and have feelings and all this bullshit. And then here's the result, right? Here's the result is nobody's getting laid. Kids are being disrespectful, and it's a shit show, and divorce is on the rise.
A few moments later.
And I will tell you, these little guys, they have to be allowed to be men.
A few moments later.
And guess what? Here's the secret to it. The women in life, even though they might bitch about it, they fucking love it.
A few moments later.
Even more simpler than that. That was a long explanation of a very simple issue. You got to keep scoring T-ball. When we quit keeping score in T-ball, we made a bunch of pussies.
Yep, you're right. You've
got a good point.
That's simple.
You got a good point. We have to appreciate individual contribution, and we moved it back so far that if you just were part of the winning team in T-ball, you expected to be the winner your whole life without actually having to put forth the effort.
Here's where that breaks down. I agree with you completely, and here's how that breaks down. So whenever I was a kid, and I was a kid in the 80s, right? And as I believe Adam was as well, or maybe early 90s, right?
So 2003, I think he's a 90s kid.
Ace of Base was monumental to my life.
Okay, all right. So a little younger, aging me a little bit. But here's the deal, right? So whenever I sucked at basketball, I was a fucking horrible basketball player. I was terrible.
I don't
was a
believe
little
that for a minute.
fat fucking sixth grader. I weighed like, I don't know, I weighed probably as much as the rest of the team. Little chubby kid. My dad was a basketball star in high school, so he wanted me to play basketball. So I went and I fucking sucked at basketball. I was a horrible basketball player. You know how many trophies I got? 0. You know
Exactly.
what my dad told me is that he was extremely disappointed and that I only made one fucking basket. I should stop playing basketball. So you know what I did? I stopped playing basketball. And guess what? I found out I was good at other things.
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
I'm not a fucking jump shooter. All right. I made one basket starting every game. And the only reason I started is because there was only 5 of us on the team. And I only made it through a complete game twice without laying on the sidelines like fucking gasping for air. I was not a basketball player.
And that was
But
in
you know
Indiana.
what?
That was in
Nobody-
Indiana of all places.
nobody
I'm
told me I
joking,
was
I'm
good.
joking.
Nobody told me I was good. So I figured out I'm good at other stuff. You know what? You gotta fail at things to figure out what you're good at. So you can't make everybody a winner. You're doing a disservice to the children and to mankind in general when you tell them they're a winner or that they're really awesome when they suck.
Then it's okay not to get a ribbon. It's okay not to do that. A little disappointment should motivate.
Yeah,
But
you got to fail. You have to fail in life in order to succeed. That's my theory. So, Adam, let me
that's how
ask
I've
you
succeeded
this.
so well.
Yeah, for real. That's why this podcast is blowing up. So we homeschool now, and to your point about the hard times and whatever, I feel like there's a growing number of people like Adam with his boys and me with my daughter. Like we've decided that we have to take the education and the discipline and everything else of our children back into our own hands. So I'm hopeful that the generation that's coming is going to be the greatest generation because they have a world of shit to correct. And it's not necessarily my generation's fault. We kind of came in at the end of this deal. But I feel like the next generation, the ones that are coming up, I really don't think that people because I agree with Adam that everything on the internet is fake and that what's being claimed is going on in the country is not really going on. And I think that we have circled the wagons, a lot of us. I know my family has. We've circled the wagons and we're raising kids that understand what it's like to be a winner. I used to tell this, it's a joke that I used to tell. I'm sure Adam's heard it before, but it's true. So I taught my daughter the secret to life through the game of Guess Who. You've heard this story, right? So
I have.
when she was little, we used to play Guess Who, and it's a game with 50 tiles, and you each player has a character, and you ask questions of the other person to figure out what characters to eliminate. And so my daughter would ask me a question like, "Is your person bald?" And I would say yes, and so she would lay down everybody that had hair, and then it would be my turn, and I would go, and then she would ask me a question like, "Does your person have hair?" Or no, I fucked it up already. But anyway, I would say, no, he doesn't have any hair. He's fucking bald. It's daddy's turn. And so my wife would come in and she'd be like, hey, you have to let her win every now and then. And I said, that is bullshit. That is no score keeping T-ball shit.
There you
I'm
go.
raising a winner and a contributor, not a participant. And I tell you what, she's amazing at Guess Who.
You got to start somewhere, right? That's the deal. You got to start somewhere. Do you guys freeze on me?
No, we're good.
Nope. You missed the punchline. That is a great joke, but there is a.
Where's the punchline?
I fucked it up.
God
You
damn it,
did,
Lloyd.
but
I brought you on as a
he had
co-host because you're
perfectly
funny.
worked out.
Yeah. It's been a while since I told that, man. I haven't been on stage in a minute. But
You're on stage right now, baby.
That's right. For all 3 of us. So
Hey, I'd like
Adam
to
asked
thank
me how many
all
viewers we
16 of
had,
the
and I
people.
said Adam asked me the other day how many viewers we have, and I told him 3, including me and Jeremy. So you see where the 3rd is. It's whoever the guest is.
Hey, that's just for the live feed. We've got a pretty good traction on the online.
So it's really hard. It is really hard to raise kids today because the things like for example, when I was a kid, if I was getting on my parents' nerves, they sent me out to play, and I went out and I built shit and I tore up shit and I broke stuff and I played with my neighbors and we wandered the neighborhood like like a pack of rabid dogs. You absolutely cannot do that now, and it's not where we live in a nice community. there's people that drive through, nobody knows who they are, and they're eyeballing the kids. Like, I'm scared to death to let my daughter out of my sight because I'm worried she's going to get, kidnapped or hurt because there's so many fucking crazy people in the world. And so, I was talking with my dad about this before he passed away, and he was like, you just need to you need to loosen the strings a little bit and let her get out and just explore and have fun. And I'm like, Dad, you don't understand. Like, there is legitimate threats that roam the streets of rural Oklahoma. Like, there's girls that got kidnapped and went missing, so it's a completely different world. And so, to Adam's point with the masks and making the kids scared of other people, I mean, it's a totally different world that we're living in now than what we grew up in, and it's really a challenge to figure out how to bring back that security and that safety, and to teach the right thing. And yeah, so my daughter, we don't watch TV. Well, there's like a handful of shows that we watch. We watch Alone together. We watch Master Chef together. Just some what I feel like are some quality family entertainment. But she doesn't have access to. She's never been access to the YouTube. We don't let her play on the phone. We don't let her play on the iPad. I mean, she does her schoolwork. She reads books. We play games together as a family. We've tried to keep her isolated from all that nonsense to keep that out of her life. And she's still exposed to it. Like, she still knows about all this shit. And we don't understand. There's no way to lock it out. So you have to, instead of trying to block it, which we've tried to do, instead of trying to eliminate that exposure, you have to figure out a way to convey to them that it's not real. Like, all that shit is fake. None of that means anything.
Yep, I
and
agree.
It's almost impossible because it's everywhere.
I agree.
Let me interject one point. We don't want to 100% block from. I want to make sure we have enough experiences to appreciate the good and separate the bad. And I think I wasn't allowed to watch Little Mermaid as a kid growing up, and this is just my childhood trauma coming out, and I wanted to explain it to you guys.
You really wanted to watch Little Mermaid?
Because there was penises.
There was penises
all over the place.
I had nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Penises.
It's because Ariel had too much cleavage, and they didn't want me to expect I was going to get something that looked like that.
I for sure thought the phallic castles were the problem.
No shit.
I was more concerned. She didn't have a belly button, guys. Where'd she come from? Got some questions.
She's a fish. She was hatched. She came out of an egg.
But that's where I'm at with my boys. I'm going to make sure you're a generalist on everything. We played 1 year T-ball. We did basketball. We're giving the experiences, and I think that's all we can do. And explain to them that real life is still more fun than anything that's on a screen. Nobody cares about your achievements in a world that's only celebrated in that world.
Yep.
We live in the real world, and we still need to achieve in the real world. And regardless of how we get there, I just need you to know what achievement feels like, that you're loved, and that I want the best for you.
So I'm going to give you a recommendation.
That is my parenting in a nutshell. You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. You're doing a good job.
I think we're good. It's like, what we're going to do when we promo this, I'll be like, next time on a very special oil and gaslighting.
We tell no jokes. We get really serious and make everybody uncomfortable.
But it's true. No, it's actually, to be honest, though, it's super true. And it's super something that we need to address. And it truly is. Like I said, I get passionate about it, but it absolutely is. And as a human man who has tried to deprogram himself from that bullshit, it's really hard when you're my age and you're trying to figure shit out and trying to be successful in your relationships and your life and your career. And you haven't been brought up with, you've been given everything. So it's just like, well, then what the fuck should I work for? It's just like, I'm just, and this is why we have people change jobs every 2 years. People there's no loyalty. Remember Michael Jordan? Here's a great example.
I would love to be loyal. Find me an oilfield service company that's got enough money to keep me around through the bad times, and I will gladly work there loyally. But I've been laid off every 3 years. It's like clockwork. Thank you, low interest rates. And it's Jeremy Powell. Let's not get twisted about who started all this nonsense and why we have to worry about gender. 0% interest rates don't work for any economy ever. It all stems from there.
Now we're getting somewhere.
LGBT right. Scores. This is why Bud Light all of a sudden decides we're going to have to accelerate the 1% of the people that we serve to get check some block from a government regulated body that tells them what their score is relative to other companies? Why?
Yeah, but how did that
And last
work
time
out
I
for
checked,
him?
I wanted to run my company. I wanted to make as much profit on, I got my 80-20s, okay? I got my 10% crazy and my 10% never going to happen. My 80%, come here, my little 80%. I want to take care of you.
Give you a
Instead
big
of isolating and
There you go.
alienating
There
and
you go.
making it weird and having to celebrate Kid Rock. I haven't listened to a Kid Rock song in 15 years, and all of a sudden now I got to appreciate what he did. As a young American veteran, I'm so confused on how to feel right now.
Jesus Christ.
He
Oh
did
my
shoot
God.
up a case of Bud Lights with a rifle.
There was 2 Dragon's Breath shotgun shells that were unpictured out of the video to the right, and that's all I'm saying is it looks really cool.
Yeah,
But you know,
it's
let's be
all fake.
real here.
Just like
Internet
you said.
tricks. It's all fake. It doesn't. You're not celebrating. You're not supporting my thesis that none of this is real. Woo! Why'd
Yeah,
you get me excited on a Thursday night? I got to go to sleep. I'm about to go start writing my novel.
Yeah, go right.
You
What are
gotta-
you
you
writing a
gotta keep-
novel
yeah,
about?
We're going to
gotta,
upgrade.
bro.
There will be blood for the 2023 version.
Okay.
All right.
Look
All
here,
right.
Lloyd. You're going to be the Wildcatter.
Okay.
We'll get Scarlett Johansson to play the female lead because.
Oh wait, I've got to actually be in the movie. I thought we were just a book. You said a book, but we're doing a screenplay now.
But if you put the idea out there, let the universe see where it lands.
Okay, we'll
and
see
then
how we'll see what happens. I think that
You're
I think that
podcasting now. You're halfway to the big
I think
screen
Drew
there,
Carey
little
could
fella.
play me. That would
So
probably
Adam-
be better.
So Adam, I got a question for you. So
Sure.
You're our first guest who has had some legit philosophical ideas.
Wild opinions.
Where does that come from?
shouldn't
Where
be
does
said
that
on
where
the
does that
internet.
where does
Yeah.
that come from?
Right
Where
up.
does that come from? I know
Marijuana.
It is my. I should have been a Baptist preacher, but I decided I wanted to make money.
all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I
Well,
was,
you made
I
a
was
bad
trained,
choice. I mean, there's
pedigreed.
plenty of Baptist preachers walking around with pinky rings and fucking extended limos.
I got one right down the street. I
Here's the
got Joel
deal.
Osteen right down the street, right? From
Oh,
me.
there you go. He's a Baptist preacher. He's not Baptist, is he?
This.
Anyway, let Adam finish. I like what
I'm
you
sorry.
said.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. This is me pontificating and or putting my preaching into the world.
This
I'd
is
love to
Saint-
see you. Come catch me at the Holiday Inn in El Reno, Oklahoma, May 28th and 29th.
The Holodome. It's
The Holodome.
after
You know,
we're
I
done,
used
we'll
to-
play a little minute. We'll play a little putt after we're done.
Did I ever tell you the story about when I worked at
Buddy,
the Holodome and I met Genuine?
You worked at the Holodome?
Oh yeah, when I was in
good
college.
for you. Awesome, bro.
Yeah, I put myself through. I put
Hold on,
myself
on.
and my wife through college. Yeah, Go ahead.
Genuine.
Genuine.
Because baby, you're so fine. What is that song? What's Genuine? song?
It's the pony and ride it. My pony, ride my pony.
Oh no, kids.
Yeah. So I was working at the Holodome in Manhattan, Kansas when I was in college. I was the night auditor because I could work a full 40 hours a week and still go to school because I basically didn't sleep, and that's how I ingrained that into myself, not to sleep. I don't sleep anymore. I still don't sleep. But I would work all night at the Holodome, and one night
Sleep
I
apnea will do that to a fella.
yeah, so one night I come to the Holodome and the girls that I was relieving told me that there was a famous person staying at the hotel and that they were registered under Mickey Mouse in the registration. So if I got any requests from Mickey Mouse, I needed to make sure and take care of them because they were a celebrity. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so they wandered off, and so I'm doing my balancing my credit card bills and all the shit I had to do as a night auditor. And this dude comes walking up to the counter with a whole entourage. Like there was a whole bunch of hoochie mamas with him, right?
Nice.
And he had been
Nice.
so Genuine had come to K-State for the Black Student Union, like they had some big event, and Genuine performed at the event, and he was staying at the Holiday Inn. So he comes up to the desk and he's like, "Hey man, you got any towels?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got towels." And so I went back and grabbed some towels and brought them to him. He's like, "Yeah, thanks, right on." And he goes to walk off, and he's like, "Man, you don't know who I is, do you?" And I said, "Who is you?" And he said, "I'm Genuine." And I said, "Genuine what?"
I love it.
And he said, "Fuck, man." He just went walking off with his entourage. And the security guard comes over and he's like, hey, I saw you talking to Genuine. And I was like, what the
What did you
fuck
say
are
to that motherfucker?
talking about? Genuine what? And he's like, no, he's a celebrity. He's a singer or whatever. That pony song. And I had no idea who he was. I totally bursted his bubble at the Holodome in Manhattan, Kansas, because I had no fucking idea who he was. I just got him some towels.
On this episode of Only Gaslighting, Lloyd burst Genuine's bubble.
Bursted his bubble. He wasn't that good. I mean, let's be honest. He had one hit. He's a one-hit wonder, right? He lasted like 5
Hey,
minutes.
who doesn't want a one-hit wonder, right? It's just like you get the one hit and just make your
I
money.
love those guys that came on. What was that show that used to be on? Like, it wasn't America's Got Talent, but it was something like that. Maybe it was. No, maybe it was America's Got Talent. I don't remember. But remember the dude that came out and he's like, they're like, "What's your goal in life?" He's like, "We want to be a one-hit wonder." And then they did that one-hit wonder song. I can't remember the song, but it was pretty banging. It was pretty banging. They got their dream. It was on the radio.
Lloyd's working for the younger demographic now. He's working for the
what you're
younger
talking about.
demographic. They only got-
The younger demographic.
I had a buddy of mine that was like, he's like old dude. He's like, man, if I had to make a song, just a one-hit song like Afternoon Delight, he's like, those bastards are making money to this day. And it's true. It's actually true. It's like, you get a little one-hit wonder and you just roll with it. Now,
Milli Vanilli changed my life too, Lloyd.
Yeah, but they were lip syncing, right? They weren't even real. That was fake, also.
Well, I know that's why it was funny, is because that's when we first figured out that everything you see on the television may not be true.
Everything is fake. Everything is fake. It's all bullshit.
Everything is fake, and as long as we accept that up front, and we realize that the 1% on the internet that yells at us don't really have that much control or power. They may hurt our feelings, but we regrow those.
I could go into one
That's
day.
going to be great.
One day, hopefully soon, I will go into a tirade and I'll tell you exactly who it is that's in control. But I am contractually obligated where I cannot do so at this time.
and you've got to go home and say your prayers over your flag.
Yeah, one day I'll be able
thank
to
him for your employment. But
share all. It'll be a share all episode, the naked truth. But Adam, it's been great having you, man. Like I said, one of my best friends in the world. We had a date night one time, me and Adam.
Y'all had a date night?
Yeah, we went out together. We were
Nice.
trying it out, seeing what was happening.
We had Italian.
Did you buy him
didn't
a
order
nice meal?
spaghetti? I was like,
Yeah,
I bought him anything nice he'd want.
Yeah, that's right. We went to a concert together.
Oh shit, that's client service. Right there.
It's a day that will live in infamy. I mean, we're famous, man. We're on the internets. We're on the DVDs.
We're on
all over
Netflix.
the
All right,
place.
tell me about this. I haven't heard this story. Come on.
So a great comedian in Northeast Oklahoma, Rodney Carrington.
All right, I know Rodney Carrington. Yeah.
The BOK Center, and Brother Lloyd was heavy into his stand-up career at that time, and got us really good seats on the 5th or 6th row.
Yeah, 5th
So
row.
we got to watch him do it's still his latest hour on Netflix.
Yeah. We're in there, like the video. They filmed it. We're like, you can see me and Adam down there hanging out together, like just
no
a couple
shit on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna check that shit out tonight. We're gonna check that.
You gotta know where. It's not like they zoom in on us. You got to know where we were, but we're there side by side.
Well, I've seen you both now. I could probably figure it out.
Not at minute 3:34, and if you pause it and back up 2 frames, if you have the Apple TV remote, you don't see Lloyd's glasses and my stupid face right next to him. That's not how it works. But
smiling,
that's
grinning
not exactly
ear
where
to
it is. Ear. We had a great time.
Oh, it's so much fun. He's so funny. He hadn't performed in a while, and he came out all fat because he was divorced, and it was fantastic. Like, I was like, look,
funny how divorce and weight gain go hand in hand.
Well, and he explained it in the special. He's like, it's because nobody's there to tell me not to eat that whole fucking cake. Like, you shouldn't eat that whole thing. Nobody's here to tell me that, so I eat the whole cake. Yeah, Rodney Carrington's fantastic. We love Rodney.
All right.
When you're not married, all you need is a fork.
That's right. That's all you need. That's all you need. Turns out you can get really fat.
So we talked a little bit about, okay, so before we wrap this up, I want to talk about this a little bit, but it's like, all right, so we talked about the issue with kids and in society. What's the solution, Adam? What do we do? We keep our kids away from YouTube. I get that, but what else? What can we do as men in 2023 to make this world a little bit better? Make the oil field a little bit better?
Start small, baby. We take care of the ones that we love the most. We see the little opportunities and appreciate the little opportunities when they come present to us. I do mine through volunteer firefighting, and then when I I don't comment on anything on the internet. I like to make jokes on Twitter, but I don't actually appreciate. I don't doom scroll through LinkedIn and wonder what everybody else is doing. Actually do something. Don't tell people about what you do. Actually do something. Go volunteer. We're going to Iron Gate tomorrow, which is the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
I'm taking both my boys. First time I've had my 7-year-old there, but you got to appreciate the little things that you have, so you can, when the big things come, you recognize it.
Hey! He got a real long reach in the derrick when he leads. He been all around the world on the big old rigs with the welders and the trucks on the black gold rush and the diesel burning cat motors growling in the mud. You better hire him on. He's the roughest neck around. He got the power in his hand to pull the dragons from the ground. Yeah.